I left everything behind at 50 to build this. And it's been a lot harder than I expected. Last year, I turned 50. And I remember going to 3 funerals in very short order. And they were really nice funerals. And the eulogies were very touching. And I had this thought, why do we wait until people are passed to share our stories about them and the things that they do that make us love them? So I kind of carried that thought around for a couple weeks. And then I had an experience, I will say with God, some may say the universe, karma. You can insert whatever word you'd like. And it was a clear voice that I needed to share my testimony. And I'm a type A classic workaholic person, sometimes working 3 jobs, not because I have to, but because I found my meaning and definition of myself through work. So, in true fashion, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll start sharing my testimony. I will start sharing things I know and whatever that means, right? Willing to do it. I'll go for it. So I hopped onto YouTube, made a video, perfectionism sets in, absolutely hated it. I did post it. It actually did get a couple hundred views and I got like 9 subscribers, but I chickened out. Man, did I chicken out hard. And I was like, yeah, I'm not, yeah. So I ended up going to like a faceless channel and kind of hiding behind my storytelling, world building, love for fantasy, and said, this is a safe space. Nobody has to see me. I don't have to be on camera and be real. And I did that, but I was also working full time, sometimes 14-hour days. I worked at UPS for 18 years. I was dispatch, which means I basically planned the routes for all the drivers. I had 100, and when I left, at the peak, I would have like 130 routes that ran, but I think more on average, it was like 62. And so I was responsible for those drivers' days. But I defined myself through my career. I excel when you give me a position to excel in. School, I was an EMT. I could go on and on, but that's not the point of this story. So I kind of dabbled here and dabbled there, and then haphazardly came across a video on manifesting and how powerful our minds are. And something about that video just lit a fire in me. And I'm going through these exercises after I studied up on what manifesting is, like how can I make it work for me. Again, type A overhaul. I was like, okay, I've got this. I'm doing this. And I think my family around me, they're like, okay, Mom, yeah, you've got this. Because they're just used to me just putting my mind to something and making it happen. So I did get encouragement, I think a couple chuckles, and I said, well, I want a family compound. I said, I'm 50 years old, and the thing I'm looking at is that I worked my life away. I've worked my life away. I have more years behind me than I have ahead of me. And what I mean by that is active years. Even if I live to 100, it's very unlikely that at 100 I'll be out hiking, sitting out on the lawn like this, enjoying the sunset. Very unlikely, even if I make it that long. And I do plan to make it that long. So, and yes, unfortunately, I did the math. I used ChatGPT to help me calculate how many active, full, amazing, healthy days I have ahead of me, assuming I stay in good health, take really good care of my body, and make what time I have left work. So yeah, a lot of you are probably saying, wow, yeah, she's having a midlife crisis. But no, it wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a midlife awakening. I feel more alive and real and excited for the day than I've ever felt. But I still have these problems. I have no job now, and my job has defined me for gosh knows how long. I kind of skipped, and I apologize. I'm not really good at my storytelling yet. I have been working on it. So let me back up. After studying manifesting, my 100% goal was a castle house. And yes, the castle comes from my love of fantasy, but the size of the house and the fact that it's a castle to me was more so that I could gather my children and their plus ones home, and we could start living a different life. I mentioned it to all of my family. I even mentioned it to my son's soon-to-be in-laws, and they liked the idea. Like, we were literally for a few months before this whole, like, I'm doing this, had kind of already spitfired this idea of, we're so tired of the grind. We need to do something different. There's got to be a better way to live. And we were all down to even his in-laws and us, because they're amazing people. But sometimes in life there are doers, and I'm a doer, and we run into people who like to dream, but I'm a doer. So I started manifesting and meditating and really working at changing my identity and changing my wiring, changing the limiting beliefs, reframing them. And before you know it, in 241 days, literally 241 days, I know the exact day, I manifested this house here. And I have so many stories I could tell you on how I didn't just go out and buy it. So many little things fell into place. We were in an incredibly hot real estate market. And if I told you what I paid for this versus what it was worth, it's absolutely insane, because I do real estate as well. I like I said, I wear a lot of hats, and I have my own real estate company, and I work with just 24 clients a year, because that's all I need to do. I'm not here to sell myself or my skills or look all polished. I am extremely good at real estate, and yeah, we leave it at that. So when I saw the house, I was like, wait, what's wrong? Like, there's got to be more to this story. And I came and I saw it, fell in love with it, and was like, this is the house. But now I have this problem. I have all these kids I want to have move home. My boys both have bought houses because I showed them how to, and had lives and homes, and don't live at home, and daughter in college, and another daughter off on her own. And then she had actually just moved home into our in-law, so she was kind of already with us, but she was kind of happy where she was. We had a nice house with modern amenities, etc. But it didn't have the space we need. This house is just about 5,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, and they're huge. It's literally a castle. And the funny thing is I've shown it to a few people, not without them knowing my dream, what reality I'm manifesting. And they're like, wow, that's a castle. So I manifested my castle. And everyone was just on board and it happened. And I was the one struggling with leaving my old house when the time came. We still own it and I'm trying to get it ready now to sell it. We only moved in here last October and we've been in here for so we're going on 6 months. November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, 6 months. And yeah, and when I'm here, I'm having a little PTSD because I see everything that needs fixing, because although it's a beautiful home in beautiful condition, it needs love. And I have no job. I left a 6-figure income to live this life, but now I don't have the income to beautify the property the way I want. And I say that from a position right now of this is kind of where I've been. And this morning I woke up and it's finally hit me that I am living the life I manifested. And the only part that hasn't shown up is the money. I have my home. I have my children and family gathered in. I have plans beyond that, but this is the first stage. I will get those in-laws with us. I know what I have to do to make that happen, but that'll be, part of this journey, right? So now there's 7 grown adults sharing this property, and it's pretty interesting, actually. I'm not broke, but I don't have discretionary spending money right now. And I'm not used to that. I grew up poor and was determined I would never live like that again. And I'm not poor now, so I'm not even saying that that's something I'm doing, as much as it's something that's shaped how I work and why I'm such a workaholic. So yeah, now I have this home that needs love and care and beautifying. I've been out gardening all morning. And my nervous system has not accepted that the world and the universe will pay me to be me. The universe has not accepted, or not the universe, my nervous system has not accepted that people will want to watch my journey just because it's cool and they have an interest in it. I find myself working through guilt as things start to go my way and feeling guilty for things going my way. Daughter-in-law just pulled in. So yeah, I'm really working through some deeply rooted emotions here. But today I woke up and decided to live my best life as me. Live this life that I've been given. I've been working at mentally picturing my life and really just stepping into the person that holds it. And I think that's what I did wrong, in that I wasn't ready to hold the space, and so my nervous system has been really fighting me. So I asked myself, what would Renee do? And started being that person now. I have the life. I have what I asked for. And through a series of events, leaving my work behind, making conscious choices and purchasing this home, moving everybody in, I have it, we're here. And now the real work begins with how does this family compound fill out? How do I hold the state? But I am 100% today in the state. So grateful to the universe for what it's providing me, how it's aligning around me, and no more chasing, only living, because I set out to live my remaining 8,432 days of active life that I have left. And I hope you'll find inspiration in my journey and want to stay with me, because I realize this is a hard pivot, maybe from some of the more recent content where I've been lamenting. And I hope that you draw inspiration, that you have all the power you need within you to create the reality you want. So you've got to get out there and start figuring it out. And you're welcome to watch me figure it out. And I've got some pretty amazing things that I'm very excited to start sharing. I'm ready to finally step into me and share. And that's what I had to say tonight. So until my next video, live, love, and grow.